Start by looking at the raw horsepower of a modern computer: a high-end processor, a massive graphics card, and memory. In isolation, these components possess immense computational capability, but suspended in a vacuum, they are entirely useless. A processor cannot compute without receiving data from memory. A graphics card cannot render without instructions, and none of them can power themselves. To function, these isolated parts require a central nervous system. The motherboard bridges the physical gap between hardware components, allowing them to interact for the first time. It establishes the system's hardware topology. A processor might be capable of billions of calculations per second, but the overall machine is only as fast as the physical pathways that transport data to and from that processor. We are going to build a modern computer architecture from the ground up, mapping the exact physical data pathways and power networks that allow a system to operate. The motherboard serves as an active infrastructure layer. It dictates the specific bandwidth, controls the data latency, and ensures electrical stability achievable by the entire computing system. This diagram shows a blank printed circuit board, or PCB. This is our foundational substrate, the space where we route our architecture. We anchor the system at the center with the CPU socket, the physical and electrical mount for the processor. Because different processors have distinct pin layouts and electrical requirements, the socket must be an exact physical match for the chip, using specific grid arrays like LGA, PGA, or soldered BGA designs. Next, the processor needs data to work with. Random access memory, or RAM, provides temporary active data storage, feeding the CPU the exact files it needs at any given microsecond. To feed that data efficiently, we place the RAM slots close to the CPU, wiring dozens of parallel copper traces directly from the socket to the memory slots. Modern architectures utilize dual-channel or quad-channel memory configurations, meaning the processor can access multiple memory sticks simultaneously rather than waiting in a single line. By populating the correct physical slots across these specific channels, the system multiplies the total data bandwidth available to the CPU. Establishing direct, unhindered physical traces between the central processor and active memory is the first mandatory requirement to prevent bottlenecks and keep the processing core fed with data. Packets stacked up, introducing latency delays. To eliminate those delays, modern architectures shifted toward extreme integration. The processor absorbs high-speed data lanes directly onto the die, dissolving the external Northbridge hub. What remains is a single chipset, handling slower secondary traces, like USB and audio, routing them neatly to the CPU. Stripping away the external high-speed controllers drastically reduced physical communication latency, allowing the processor to interface with its most critical components without asking a middleman for permission. For high-demand hardware, modern motherboards rely on Peripheral Component Interconnect Express, or PCIe. Devices like graphics cards rendering 3D environments or specialized AI accelerators require massive pipelines to move gigabytes of data per second. Looking at our diagram, we route the primary PCIe lanes directly from the expansion slots straight into the CPU socket, bypassing the chipset completely to guarantee immediate access to the processing core. All that processed data needs a permanent home. Unlike RAM, persistent storage retains the operating system and files. On our diagram, traditional storage uses SATA interfaces. Watch the data path. The signal travels from the SATA port down into the slower chipset block and then up to the CPU. Modern solid-state storage uses the M.2 NVMe interface, changing the physical routing entirely. Instead of routing through the chipset, the NVMe slot wires directly into the CPU's PCIe lanes, bypassing the slower chipset detour entirely. Storage speed is no longer strictly determined by the mechanics of the drive itself. It is largely defined by whether the motherboard's physical topology routes that data directly to the processor or forces it through a secondary controller. These data pathways are useless without electricity. The system draws raw power through the main 24-pin connector and dedicated CPU power cables. However, the power supply delivers electricity at 12 volts, while a modern processor operates at strict tolerances, often requiring just over 1 volt. Sending 12 volts directly to the CPU would instantly destroy it. This diagram illustrates voltage regulation modules, or VRMs. Positioned directly between the power connectors and the CPU socket, they intake 12 volts and step it down, outputting a highly precise 1.2 volts into the processor. When a processor suddenly launches a heavy workload, its electrical demand spikes instantly. The VRMs must rapidly adjust to deliver more current while maintaining that exact voltage line. But if a motherboard utilizes weak VRM architecture during heavy loads, the modules overheat. The electrical output fluctuates, sending an unstable voltage line straight into the CPU. To prevent physical damage from this poor power delivery, the processor engages thermal throttling. It purposefully slows down its calculation speed to match the failing electrical supply. Placing a high-end processor into a motherboard with inadequate power architecture causes it to underperform. A stable electrical topology is a prerequisite for high-speed computing, proving that power delivery is as critical as data throughput. We now have a completely mapped architecture, a central processor fed by direct link RAM, ultra-fast PCIe lanes for graphics, NVMe storage bypassing the chipset, and a precise VRM array supplying stable power. Left alone, these components operate at wildly different inherent speeds. The RAM cycles faster than the storage, and the GPUs process at rates different from the CPU. Without management, the data traffic would be total chaos. The final required element is synchronization, achieved through clock signals. This diagram shows the system's clock signals distributing a rhythmic pulse across the board. These pulses act like a metronome, dictating the exact timing of data transfers, so every separate component reads and writes information in perfect unison. This architecture governs standard PCs, but its true test is scaling to cloud environments. When workloads demand it, the layout scales outward, expanding into a massive enterprise server equipped with dual CPU sockets, dozens of RAM channels, and vast arrays of PCIe lanes. The physical size increases, but the engineering constraints remain identical. Managing latency, maximizing bandwidth, and delivering stable power dictate the architecture of massive data centers just as strictly as they dictate a desktop PC. The motherboard provides the physical and electrical infrastructure layer that transforms separate electronic components into a functioning, unified computer. With the structural topology completely mapped, we can now move past the copper traces and look inside the silicon itself. Next, we will explore exactly how those central processors compute the data they receive.